Hey everyone, and welcome back to Nutty Chess Tips with me, Nutty T. Today I'm going to show you some tricky tactical lines on how to beat the English opening. So, as usual, check it out. First moves on the table are as follows: c4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, and when your opponent plays the g3 line, we simply go with this tricky little move, c6. If your opponent goes bishop g2, I like to go d5. Now, when they take, we take back with the c-pawn, and now the most common move I've found in this situation is queen b3. Now, if they play queen b3, I like this move, which is knight c6. They have three main moves I'm going to take you through today, which is knight takes, d5, bishop takes, and then the slow move, which is d3. So first off, we'll go d3. When they go d3, I just like to do this little move, which is bishop e6. The fun begins when the opponent gets greedy and takes the pawn on b7. If they take the pawn on b7, we simply go knight b4. We're eyeing this space on c2 to fork the king and the rook. So if the king moves to safety to f1, there's two moves we can do in this situation, which is a6, looking to get the rook to b8 and then trying to trap the queen. But one move I like to do in this situation is this move, which is bishop d7. Now, obviously, if your opponent goes knight takes on d5, we simply take back with our knight. When they take with the bishop, we take back with the knight. And as you can see by the eval bar, we're just winning here. Now, obviously, if your opponent gets greedy and takes with the queen, now pause the video if you like to try and spot the winning move for black. Right, well done if you saw this move, which is bishop h3 check, and as you can see, we're just killing the queen. So let's go back. Now, what if they take with the bishop? Now here we simply go knight d4, and as you can see, we're looking at c2 with the knight as well as threatening the queen. So if queen moves to c4, we have this move, which is bishop d6. Now they usually check with the bishop, and now we simply go king e7. If they go f4, we simply go bishop f5, eyeing up the c2 square again. So if they go f takes c, we simply go knight c2 check. When the king moves to f2, then we simply go bishop takes e5. Your opponent will usually go knight f3 to threaten this bishop. We simply go rook c8, threatening the queen. When the queen moves to b3, we simply check with the bishop. If they block with the pawn, we simply take the rook. Now, if they take the bishop, we simply whip off this queen. So, let's go back. What if they see this and they just take this pawn on b7? Now, we simply cover with the rook. Queen b4 check. We just take the bishop on f7. E takes the bishop. And then now we simply go rook e8. taking control of the e file. If rook e1, we simply whip off this rook. When the knight takes, we go rook e7. Knight usually goes back to f3, and now we simply go knight c2. Iron up this queen again, and now queen c5, threatening the bishop, and now we simply go bishop g4, threatening this knight. Knight usually goes e5 check, and now we simply go to safety to g8. Knight c6, forking the queen and the rook, but now we simply go check with the knight. And now if the knight takes, we simply go queen f8 check. King g1, and now the rook takes a knight on e4. And as you can see, we're out of danger. And now your opponent will usually check with the queen, also eyeing up this rook on e4. We simply move the rook to safety to e6. And now if you see knight d8, we simply go bishop h3, ignoring the knight. And if the opponent gets greedy and takes the rook with the knight, we simply have this move, which is skadoosh, queen f1 checkmate. So let's go back. Instead of queen c4, what if we see bishop check? If we see this, we simply go king e7. Then if queen c4, we simply go bishop f5, eyeing up the c2 square again. And now if we see d3, now we go rook c8, threatening the queen. Obviously, when the queen moves, we simply take off this bishop and we have a free piece. So now what happens if knight takes? We simply go again knight d4. If knight f6, queen takes f6, and there's a few moves your opponent can do as shown by the highlighted arrows. First off, if your opponent goes queen check on a4, we have this move, which is bishop c6. And as you can see, the queen has to move, and then we simply fork the rook and we're winning here. If queen c3, you can pause the video and try and find the move. Well, if you found the move, well done. It's this beautiful move, which is kamikaze, bishop b4. And now, obviously, if they take, we simply come in with this move, boom, knight c2. And as you can see, the queen has just gone. So let's go back. What happens if your opponent goes d3? Well, if your opponent goes d3, we simply have bishop d7. If your opponent then goes bishop takes the pawn on b7, we simply move the rook to b8. The most common moves here is for the opponent to either retreat to e4 or back to g2. First off, if they move back to e4, we simply go bishop b5, threatening the queen. If queen c3, now we simply go queen a6, eyeing up the e-pawn. If d3, and now we have this beautiful move, which is boom, bishop b4, and they have to take. We simply fork the queen and the king again. So they will usually do a different move, such as knight f3. If they do knight f3, we simply bring the rook to c8. And now when the queen retreats to e3, we obviously haven't got this fork anymore because the bishop just comes in. But we have an even better move, which is kamikaze! Queen a2. And now, if they get greedy and take, we simply come in and go skadoosh. Rook c1 checkmate. So let's go back. So what if they do the best move, which is queen d1? If they go queen d1, we simply go bishop f5. Again, eyeing up this space. So obviously their best move is d3. And now we simply go rook c8. If they go rook b1, we go bishop b4 check. If bishop d2 is played, we simply take off the bishop. When they take back with the queen, we come in for the attack with rook c2, threatening the queen. If the queen goes to a5, now we have a beautiful move here, which is kamikaze! Bishop takes on d3. And now, if queen a4 check, we simply cover with the pawn, threatening the queen. Queen usually takes on a7. And now we castle just to get out of danger. Rook usually goes to d1. Now we go rook d8. If rook takes d3, then we simply go rook c1 check. King d2, and now we simply go queen takes f2. King takes the rook on c1, queen e1 check. Rook d1. Then now we're simply coming in for the mating attack. Rook c8 check. The bishop will usually cover, or the queen. Either way, it's still losing. Rook takes check. When the king moves out of danger, we simply go boom. So, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the other videos. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and it's nice.